In this video, we're going to show you to install the combination switch on your Ford Ranger, located here on the left-hand side of the steering column. On the bottom half of your steering column, there is a cover right here. There's going to be 3 Phillips head screws. Let's go ahead, loosen, and remove those screws. Once we have the screws out, let's go ahead and pop this lower cover off. And just slide that out. We'll go ahead and remove our gauge cluster trim. There are normally 3 screws that go across the top. These are 9/32. Our trim only has 2 in place. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the ones that we have in here. Use a trim tool to just kind of pop out our bezel right here for our radio stuff. Now underneath here, there's going to be a couple more bolts here, or screws. Using our 9/32, we're going to go ahead and remove those as well. Pop out that screw. I'm just going to pull that forward a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and grab our trim here, and we're just going to slowly work its way around. Let's go ahead and remove the 2 screws holding on our lower knee panel here. One of the screws is just to the right of the emergency brake release lever. The other one is just to the right of the hood release. Let's go ahead and pop off our knob for our headlight switch. And this should allow us to go ahead and work this unit up. Let's go to the other side and release that. I'm going to go ahead and release our clip here for our dimmer switch. Just pry up on these little tabs here. Use your pry tool and pop that up and off. Set your trim bezel aside. Lift up on the column cover. Just pop this up. And remove this unit and set it aside. Now there's a Torx bit screw right on the top right here. And then there's one in the same position just below it. Let's go ahead and loosen and remove this upper screw here. we can go ahead and slide this out, and there are going to be a couple connectors on the back side of it. This upper one, I'm going to use our pick, lift up. You want to be careful when doing this here. You don't want to pull on the wires. You want to pull on that bulkhead component. Once you have those out, you can go ahead and dispose of your old lever. Let's go ahead and install our harnesses now. Simply line that up. Snap it into place. Do the same with the other one here. Once that's snapped in, let's go ahead and line up our two mounting holes here. Let's go ahead and get an upper screw installed. Once you have that caught a few threads, we'll go ahead and get the bottom one started as well. All right, go ahead and snug those down. Now, when we install our component here, we did go ahead and test this to make sure it would work. You can see that it's not locking into position when we turn it to the left. That is not an issue. It just means that our steering wheel is not in the correct position for that to lock in. So our canceling cam, pretty much our wheel is right on our canceling cam, and our component is working as it should. Now we have our upper gauge trim bezel right here. We want to go ahead and install our connector and our headlight switch. Now our headlight switch has two little tabs here with holes in it, and our original dash would have had two plastic posts right here to put two small screws in there. Well, ours is broken, so on your particular model, if these aren't broken, you're going to want to go ahead and install your headlight switch and then put the screws into it. In our case here, we're simply going to connect our big bulkhead connector right here. This is our dimmer switch. Snap that into place. I'm going to bring our trim bezel down, kind of get this lined up in. I just kind of get this kind of in its main vicinity here. In our case here, we're simply going to put our headlight knob into place, and we're going to use our knob here to secure that into place here. Okay, now that we have that lined up, I'm going to go ahead and push our trim bezel back into place. Just make sure everything lines up. We'll line up our buttons here. Grabbed our pick here, our little hook, and we're just going to pull up a little bit on this little metal stud here, or a little retainer clip, and we're going to just flex this up and into place. I'm going to do the same on the other side, repeat the process. I'm going to install our hardware up on the top of our gauge cluster here. Now you would normally have three. Our particular vehicle only had two in the top here. They're just missing a third screw. We're going to install the two that we have. Let's go ahead and install our radio here. And the top will snap into place. And then we have our two screws for the lower portion here. I want to make sure that those are snug but not super tight. There you go. I'm going to go ahead and fit our lid on here. We're going to press in on our hazard button here, get us a little bit more clearance. I'm going to go ahead and install our lower column cover here. And this in general should line up our pins with the lower cover to the upper. I'm going to go ahead and get one screw in on this side here, and we'll start that just a couple threads, and then we'll come on over to the other side and get that lined up. And then we'll snug down our third screw on the other side.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.